Constitution Amendment exercise issue, we move on to leadership matters, and two critical elements of leadership we want to look at this morning. There have been calls for involvement of more women and youth in leadership positions in Nigeria, especially as we come down to 2023. We've got in the studio with us this morning a gentleman and a lady to discuss this issue. We are with us one of our very popular faces on this station, is a public affairs analyst, Mr. Solomon Enilolobo. Mr. Enilolobo, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thanks
good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you
for having us. A social affairs analyst and a fashion designer joining us this morning too, Adetoun, Braimoh. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Mr. Enilolobo, let's start with you. The place of youth and women in Nigeria's quest for new leadership. Some people, like Simiat, are of the opinion that women are entitled to leadership positions in Nigeria. You just have to give them, whether you like it or not. In fact, it's one of the issues that we discussed before you came in. Now, do you think that youth and women in Nigeria will just have to sit back and believe that they'll drop positions on their laps without really fighting for it?
No, nobody has ever dropped positions on anybody's laps. Whatever you think you deserve, whatever you think should be, you have to fight for it. So nobody should feel entitled. The youth should not feel entitled. The women should not feel entitled. If you know you deserve this, if you know there are better ways of doing this, if you're loaded with ideas, then you come up with those ideas, you make it known, you run for office, you consult far and wide, you get people behind you, you get the nomination, and you contest. What we advocate for is that it should be easier to do these things that I've said. So there should be no roadblocks, there should be no brick walls for young people, there should be no brick walls for women. So some of those brick walls could be like money to purchase the form. So if you're young, if you're a woman, maybe you do not have as much money as others should have. So political parties can make it cheaper and easier. So if they are collecting 1 million naira for everybody, they can say for the youth and women 200,000. So that will not be a barrier. But at the end of the day, you still have to pay something to get the ticket. You still have to consult right. A lot of women also complain, not only in politics, but in every other phases of life, that there are advances towards them when they try to do it and all of that. That happens everywhere anyway. So, but we should not make it more difficult. We should not talk them down. You are a woman. What's a woman doing in politics? You should be in the kitchen, or you are for the other room. You know, you are for the other room and all of that. So women should aspire, youth should aspire. We need everybody to be on board so that we can evolve the country that looks like where we want to live in.
But we all know that this is quite difficult for a male youth, for instance, for someone like you. You're aspiring to become something in Ogun State, you know, on the platform of a political party. Some people like to say, go and sit down, you know, you're not even right, go and wait for your time. And for a young lady too, like Ms. Braimoh, they are likely also to say that, or to make her actually fulfill some conditions before she gets nominated. You don't think that is the biggest challenge in all of this?
It's not really a challenge, because if you know where you're going, people always put you down. People are scared, people are afraid of someone that knows what he's doing. So they always throw, you know, things on your way so that you get derailed. But so if someone comes to me and say, go and kill, you know, those are the kind of words that they use. It's not your turn, go and kill. Or they use zoning or whatever it is. You come up with a counter argument and say, because of this, because of that. And by the time they see your determination, they see your passion, I mean, nothing stops in the way of someone who knows what they are doing and where they are going to. So nobody starts in front of a moving train. When they see this is a moving train, and if you do not step aside, this will crush you, then they give way. So people just want to, and we have to show determination. We have to show we've got what it takes to make changes and lead this country. At the end of the day, if we don't do it now, at some point or the other, we have to do it. because life will take its course. Some people on this stage will never be on the stage for life. So somebody else has to take the mantle of power. So, and we are already ready for it. And the youth are ready, the women are ready.
The women are ready, right?
Pave the way.
The women are ready.
The women are ready, yeah. But our last guest, you were not, you missed that a bit.
Okay.
Also said something that women are their greatest enemies, you know, in politics, in aspiration to public offices.
I don't think that.
What do you think about that?
I don't think that.
Because Simia could be your friend and she may decide to vote for you.
I think women supporting women, it's different from what we have before. And I don't believe women are greatest women enemy. First, I don't want to say sex here, but at the same time, I need to let us realize that women were late to this whole thing called politics. So when you say women are not supporting women, it's just like saying everybody is not supporting women, in my own view. Because, okay, for instance, I'm a lady and I want to go out and campaign for a post and all. Then there's this one thing I need you people to realize, that there is cultural misguided ideologies against women. Women are seen almost all over Black nation as followers. So either you are a man or a woman, it is inherently built in you to not support women for some things.
Not in Mr. Enilolobo, he actually supported you.
Yes, he would say that, but in some cases, I'm sure he will also have some reservations when it comes to women doing some things. And it is not his fault, really. It is not. It is about our culture. It is about how women are being seen in the society. It is. I'm very sure you are a progressive, traditional man, or let me say you are a feminist, maybe, but there's still this ideology built in us, like we were trained we were brought up to think that there are some positions, there are some things women cannot do.
Okay, talking about the things and the positions that women are not allowed to hold in this country, and of course the proponent of that movement to say that women should be allowed, they would say that it is because they constitute the larger percentage of the population of the country, maybe half of the population now. And if you're saying that they do not matter on the table, you're just reducing your country to where it is right now.
Right?
So that's what a lot of them have been saying, that it is not about even giving women, giving it to them. It's about encouraging them, like you said, the cultural barriers that we've put so far on the doorsteps of women for us to see them in a particular light. So with this proponent, somebody brought up the bill, a rep member actually brought up the bill, and she was particularly saying that 111 seats should be reserved for women, strictly women. Now, do you see that as an improvement? Do you see that as something we need? Do you see that as something that would actually change the face of politics in 2023 if passed into law?
Like he said earlier, power is not given, power is taken. I believe that. So as much as providing enough seats for women to be in political posts and all, I think is more of allowing them to be able to attain that position, to be able to get to that seat. I don't think there is any developed nation that actually built a separate seat for female. No, I don't think so. So we have to make room. We have to place women in a very spacious, I don't know how to put this, but we have to give women room to be able to express themselves. The right platform. So providing seats, it's good. It's actually a way to go, but I think that is not the solution to what is going on right now.
Some people even say that if you provide those seats, it's men, the big men that will still choose.
That is what I'm trying to say. A woman that will put there. Yes. So it does not. Now it will not be like, it's not about being capable. It's about all the men want to be on the seat. So we are still at the same.
All right, Mr. Enilolobo, there is this argument as well that it's easier said than done. You come in the public space, you support women, you say you like women and you want women to be given, and the boardroom you know, meetings, you know, take place, or the other rooms meeting takes place, and you say no, she's not going to be our flag bearer. So at what stage do you think that we can get to in this country, especially this 2023 election, to get convinced with the women we have in politics right now, with the women we have in different sectors that are actually doing well, to actually convince us that we need them as well to be part of those that make decisions in the country?
Okay, so in as much as I believe that we need to do more on women and their participation in politics, I also believe that we've come a long way. So before now, you rarely see women in houses of assemblies, in the parliament, even in the Senate. Up till now, I think we've had one or two cases, no, not sure though, where we have women as governors, maybe, and things like that in the state. And, So which means we've come a long way. It's not something that has never happened. It is not a taboo, so to say, that no, it mustn't happen. Yeah. But we need to give way, and we need to allow more of that. We don't need the situation where it happens and we're, hey, this really happened, and it becomes news. Shouldn't be. And so we know that women as creatures of God have got everything it takes. I mean, we've all been in classes where girls are the one leading the class. We've all seen courses that we could not study. I mean, when we were in school, I remember how much I dread mathematics. And when I see women studying mathematics, studying physics, aeronautical engineering, and all of that, and I respect them. Yeah, these are people that are doing what I cannot do. And so, for young people, really, and for this new generation, you see, a lot of that has changed. We accept women, and I tell you that it's changing, really. And so, most of the time, you see us accepting women can do what we can do, especially in this new generation. And so the more we go and the more we grow, the more we accept it. Even the older generations are coming to accept it. So when it comes to women in politics, that law, I really do not know how it's going to work, because are you going to zone some constituency and say this is for women, men should not contest? That will raise another issue and say, oh, you are discriminating against all. Yeah, so it becomes a sexist war. And so what we should do is to remove all the barriers for women participating. Anything women complain about that is stopping them, that is discouraging them, should be removed. We should listen more to them. We should hear them out, and we should say, okay, is that what you want? Is that what will make you participate more? Because we need everybody on the table. And nobody, think about this, nobody will give you a seat at the table.
I just
fight for a seat at the table. Power is not served a la carte. So you will not wake up in the morning and they call you, come and collect power. No. You make yourself available. Those women have to make themselves available.
Don't let us also lose perspective, you know. We're also looking at young women, women in their 30s, in their early 40s, 30s, late 30s, who are not really, many of them are not really aspiring to public offices because they believe that those offices they're not meant for us, you know, because that's quite important too. I mean, those offices that you also mentioned, there was a time in the past that we had female governors. Yeah. What were their ages? Those women that became governors in those states. I think we have a female or two local government chairmen in Ogun State. How old are they as we speak? We've had a speaker in the Ogun State House of Assembly, a female speaker. How old was she then? You know, so I'm particularly worried about the generation, that class of women in their 30s. You know, maybe they don't, because I've not really been seeing posters. I've not really been seeing desire women of that. One. You know, I don't know, Adetoun.
Yeah, I was browsing through my Instagram and I saw this this lady that wants to come out for presidency. Okay. No, presidency actually. I don't know, maybe you saw the post. Yeah, so women in their 30s and 40s and all, I will still keep saying this. It still boils down to the ideology. Most women does not even know they can come out. Okay, for example, let me take myself for example. There was a time that I wanted to go into politics, and also I called my family and friends, and then I told them, like, I would like to join a party and all. Oh, the discouragement was much. No, for real, it was. And to an extent, I was actually afraid. Like, I don't think this is for me. So I had to step back.
Okay, so talking about...
let me quickly clear that.
Wait,
that discouragement is for everybody. Even if you're a young man, I was
No. Let me give you one scenario. Okay, 2 children, probably twins, a lady and a guy from the same family. Do you know you'd allow your boy to go out and vent for himself, to go out and hustle and all, but you will never allow your girl to do that?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, because you want to protect the female gender from
That's it.
violence. And that's not bad in itself, because if she comes home pregnant, you'll be responsible
Why
as
do
well.
you have to think first? Don't let us go to that side. Because I don't think pregnancy should stop somebody from doing anything in their life, right?
But I think even beyond Nigeria, women and their children are the most prone.
Vulnerable.
Most vulnerable. Yes, I was trying to look for that word, you know.
I think that is the
A
problem.
whole lot of elements.
We think women are actually weak. We think women are followers. And first thing, we need to prepare the society for the girl child. We need to let the society know that they are not weak and they're not something...
And that's what would give them that opportunity.
That opportunity, that courage to actually come out. We see them, that is why you see that most of victims are female, because it is inherently built in us that females are weak, they cannot protect themselves, and we didn't create that environment for them to feel protected, to feel like, okay, yes, if Mr. Hay is doing this, I should be able to do this also, not because I'm a female, not because my gender should not be the problem, but that is not the case here.
Okay, another thing that we would talk
we don't
about.
have that case, so Senior is an oppressor. Senior, she oppresses me.
I'm sure she has a limit.
I think the reason I have to put up with your oppressive look is because all of them want to chance me. I have to be like, no.
Yes, that is why you see women aggressive in their position. Because we naturally think they are weak, so they can be taken advantage of. So
let's also look at the very important one, backing his question earlier.
Okay.
You know, he talked about the women in the 30s, in their 30s, and of course what they are doing politically. Some would say that it's because of the fund. And the kind of money you need to pursue your ambition in politics of nowadays is huge. And then you also look at the young person, whether it a man or a woman, you also face the challenge. So how do you go about, you know, pursuing your dream, your aspiration in serving the country, and yes, having the funds to back it up at a very young age?
Okay, so for me, as a young person, you need to be balanced in life. And what I mean by balanced is, before you could aspire for public offices, get something doing yourself. You must have had some level of education, you probably your NYC, probably have things you're doing. It might not necessarily be a paid employment, but at least you've had some experience, you've had some leadership roles and all of that before putting yourself forward. Then anything you're doing at all, so that's the second point, anything you're doing at all, you must be able to raise funds for yourself first. Before seeking support from others. So nobody would say, oh, this is a great idea, I begin to give you money. No, they want to see how far you've gone with this first. What are the results you've achieved first before they can begin to trust you and support you with their hard-earned money. So thing is, as young people, so if your family is not supporting you, then why should I support you? Most people ask that question. So if people that are close to you think you cannot do it, if people that are close to you think we cannot put their money into this, why should others do it? So you must get the involvement of your immediate family first. If for one fundamental reason they cannot, at least it's not going to be all of them. It's going to be few of them. Then you have to get a buy-in from your friends as well. So if you can do that, then you have some leverage to now raise funds from others. But you also should be able to move some steps ahead before seeking support to move further steps or to move even far. And so young people must be able to do that. For example, if you're in any position and you need to do things, you won't go to the coffers every time. I mean, we had people doing, even while in government, the core private sector, they have the charisma, the passion to be able to invite a lot of people in and say, come, let's do this. Come, this is the idea. Come. Even governments even invite foreigners and say, you come and invest in our country. But before that, they will have put in infrastructures, put in roads, put in this, put in that. So, and that is how, for me, that is how I operate. You must be able to go some mile before inviting others to push you through further miles. And young people must learn to do that. We must be able to build bridges. We must be able to get across party lines. We must be able to do a whole lot of things to show that we are ready for this problem. Truth is this, a lot of people do not trust us to be ready for this, because we have some bad examples.
Do we trust ourselves first?
I think there have always been bad examples.
Yes.
Any generation.
Because they will say any generation will have any bad example. Yeah. They will say, look at the youngest governor in the country, what is he achieving? And they say, look at the youngest senator in the country, is the one slapping people. You know, they have a lot of bad examples, but I tell them, it's because there are not a lot of people in this, that's why you can count the bad examples. If there are a lot, just like you can count the bad examples among the older ones as well. Just like there are good ones, a lot of them among them. So every generation will have their bad example and their good example. They will say, hey, you guys are looking for money. There's a lot of internet fraudsters. Everything the young people today are looking for is money. And I said, yes, it's because of the country you bequeathed to them. There is no checks and balances. I mean, if we've seen many fathers gone to jail, the young children following them will not want to do what they've done. And so it's because of the country, the values that have eroded, the countries that they bequeathed to us. And that is why things are getting worse.
Okay, Adetoun, please, what do you think needs to change before the 2023 election, be it on the part of the women and, of course, the young men as well? What do we need to change?
I think I'm going to support what you said earlier. We need support. We need our family, people around us to actually believe in us first. And as much as I want to be optimistic about 2023 for women and all, I think we are still a little bit far behind, a little bit. So, but I think there's still so many things to be done. It is still achievable. But first, we need to let this misplaced ideology about youth, women, we need to let it go. Like you said earlier, there is always bad ones. There will always be bad ones in any generation. There will always be bad eggs. Okay, for example, while growing up, what I used to hear about the older generation is 419, not like Yahoo. But now we have Yahoo. So it does not mean that fraud stops.
Yes,
it didn't start with us. It has been there. So we should not.
So the older generation.
We have celebrated 419.
Then.
Before 419, we had fraud. Before 419. Yes. Before 419.
So it has been there. So I don't think we need to castigate the youth for what we are saying now. It is just widely known now because of the internet. All these things have been ritual killings. Everything has been here. So, like you said, it is what what they've built down for us. That is what we are saying. So they should just support women and youth the more. We need to let this idea that you're too young to run, or you don't know what you want to do, you're not capable enough, you're a woman rather, and you cannot do this. We need to let that idea go first.
Okay, letting the idea go, like you've said, some would say that you have to act. You have to not tell people to stop believing or saying what they're saying. It's you that need to change your attitude so that they will see a different you and they'll see a different form of what they could trust and all that. Do you think that is possible before 2023, that the youth and women seeking for leadership positions would actually change the attitude and, of course, the way people see them, people see us?
We have to advocate for what we want, and so you have to be able to say, hey, no, you're getting it wrong. This is what it is. Look at and begin to showcase the good examples among us, and so that they won't just see the bad examples. But come to think of it, we are making a lot of progress. Look at the age range in Ogun State House of Assembly 1999, 2003.
Wow.
And look at the age range of Ogun State House of Assembly today. A lot of them are doing well and they are very young. Doing well, you might argue that. Being young, you cannot argue that. So a lot of them are around their 40s, between 35 and 40.
So you're saying that
so I'm saying that
are not being denied.
No, I'm saying that we have moved a lot. With whether from when they are between their 60s and 65s to when we are in their 40s. Remember the Not Too Young to Run Act reduced the age to 25. So where we are going is when they will be in their 20s and their early 30s. So I'm saying we've moved from 60s to 65 to early or late 30s and 40s. We're coming to early 30s and late 20s. And that is where the thing, when our Assembly Assembly will be debating technology bills, and we'll be debating about how to deploy artificial intelligence. And they will be debating about the newest technology in town. And we'll be talking about, things that could, support the jet age, and not debating those kind of issues we're debating now. So that is where we should be going. That is where we're debating the next level, who is going to be the next Facebook in town, how we're going to form another Silicon Valley in town, how we're going to build industries of the future, the work of the future, the health sector of the future. We are not talking about what has gone beyond, we're talking about the future. And so those are the kind of debates and the kind of issues that should be emanating from our parliament. So what we're saying is, yes, we have come a long way, but we still have where to go. And so we need a lot of support. 2023 should also take us even further to where we're coming from. So I'm not supporting we have it already. I'm saying we need to do more.
We have just 3 minutes to go, gentleman and lady. But let me take you the women a bit before we close. Adetoun, this is coming to you. Okay. She spoke about change of attitude. And you have also, hammered on inherent misplaced ideology. But again, come to think of it, every day of our lives, is the man that picks the bills. I can't remember the last time Simiat and I went to the canteen and she picked my bill.
Yeah, you're her boss.
Yeah.
Now you
that's the point. That's the point, because you're always saying the man picks the bill. So I think the average man sees the average Nigerian woman as one.
I'm picking your bill today.
maybe that's a change of attitude.
So that's a change of attitude.
Really, paying the bills, I think it's just about our culture.
Culture.
Yeah.
But the other one you've been talking about is our culture.
Hold on, I'm going somewhere. I think it's about our culture that, okay, being the bigger person, I just think the male species just like to be the knight in shining armor. Yes, they like to save. I think that is just what this thing is about. If people like to, in fact, if they are not providing, you see them not performing very well, right? So it is what who they are. Yeah. It is the makeup. So
the makeup by the society or by whom?
Society, the male gene, culture. So they have
providing gene.
Yes, I think so.
So when you talk about equality.
Really, I'm going there, but I think things are changing. We've seen women acquiring wealth too, and let's be realistic here. Most of the home in Nigeria now, or before, while growing up, women pay the bills. No, not even supported here. I will say it boldly. Women pay the bills and make it seem as if men are doing it.
Some homes.
Most of the homes, not all.
Maybe some.
Most. Trust me, most. Because we have this idea that women have to lower themselves for the men to shine.
So we really don't have time. I would have actually asked you to support that with evidence.
Okay.
But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced with your.
Really? What about you? You're not convinced?
With your point, honestly, with your point, I'm not really convinced. But the word you have actually used, the comment you made is that men like to spend. Men should spend.
Men should not spend.
Women should save. Abby?
No, men should not spend. I'm not saying that.
Anyway,
men should not spend.
Anyway, we have to close this. I will not thank you so much for coming. Adetoun, Braimoh, social affairs analyst and fashion designer. Thank you so much for joining us. And Enilolobo is a public affairs analyst, is an entrepreneur, is everything rolled into one. Thank you so much for joining us. You have to be a politician too. And
We
that's why
have
it's
to
Women
go.
Equality on the program this morning. We have to go, and thank you so much for watching us. Leave it on. We'll return. Monday edition will come back next week. But don't forget that the program has a Yoruba version, which is Otunjo, that comes your way tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much for watching us. Have a great Monday.